Hello, everybody. And again, welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. And thank you very much for my little summer hiatus. Uh, I have to admit it's been a great June and July. The weather has been fabulous, and I've tried to take advantage of it and continue to work. But the radio show went on without me, which was very nice. But I did miss my great friend, respected ally, the fabulous Mark Z, and my Mark Z moments. And welcome back, Mark. It's great to see you.
Thanks, Jeff. Great to see you. I hope you had a great break from the show, and great to come back and share a few moments with you.
Right. The only thing missing from my summer is you standing behind me on a tennis court cheering me on. Don't worry, buddy, we'll get it.
We will. We're a little slower than we used to be, but we will get it.
All right. So what's on the agenda today, Mark?
Well, I just thought as um, employers are and employees are looking at hires, there's some important types of legal responsibility that employers should be aware of as well as employees. So, for example, situations that were not in the workplace years ago, now that you have more and more young mothers who are coming on to the workplace after their family leave is over, they need an accommodation. It's called the Pump Act, and they need accommodation if they're nursing their child, their baby. And employers have to set up a space where they can go and do that and make that type of accommodation. And especially if you want to bring on good talent for the future, you have to make this as an accommodation, because that's something that prospective employers are going to ask about as far as that's concerned. Also, there's the act, the Pregnancy Fairness Act, that was it's called the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act, and that was enacted just a few years ago. And again, that has to do with making accommodations to employees that are pregnant, that can do their jobs, but there's some accommodations, reasonable accommodations, that have to be made so they can work and best perform their job.
Mark, I'm sorry for my lack of information. Are these state laws? Because I know every state is different, or federal laws?
These are the states are implementing ones, but they're also federal laws. So I the Pump Act, in terms of was done as a federal. It's a federal protection act, and the same thing, the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act, that also that has to deal with preventing discrimination in the workplace.
And for those employers out there, a lot of human resource departments are not up on the laws. So I think it's important that you also cover that instead of just going to human resources, going online and browsing, it's important to check with your attorney on these things, who would be much more up to date on these laws. Correct?
Right. You're correct. Your attorneys, whether it's in-house attorney, if you're a bigger organization, or your outside counsel, they can help you keep up with these different state and federal laws. And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll send you updates, or what they'll do is they'll give you some seminars for your HR manager or head, so they'll be able to keep up with these accommodations and worker needs to be able to accommodate. And you want to have these in place, because these are questions that employees are asking, not only from a retention standpoint, but in terms of people are asking if they're considering a company. Are they supportive of me balancing my family needs as well as being able to do a good job in the workplace?
And I'll just add to that because again, getting up to date on the law is not always easy for HR to do or entrepreneurs who don't have HR. And that would be to send your personnel manual every year to your attorney to review and make sure it's updated with the current laws. I think
Right,
that's probably the best preventative medicine you can do. I know it has a cost to it, but if you don't want to be outside the law.
right, right. You want to be um, you want to be current, and you want to be very supportive to your workforce and your team, um, because that's going to create enthusiasm, and it's also going to create a good positive spirit in the company, and as well as making yourself compliant in terms of as far as the companies and organizations are concerned.
So again, I think very valuable input for entrepreneurs, Mark. Our Mark C moment's always important. If somebody wants to talk with you, get counsel from you. And as you know, I sent you a note on Sunday. I was looking for some help for a client, and you were right back at me. Good advice. I sent it on and I forwarded it on to my client. And that's what you do. You're a very good helper. How do other people find you?
Well, first of all, go on our wonderful Radio Entrepreneurs website, radioentrepreneurs.com. Um, Google Mark Z, M-A-R-C, and Z. We come right up, markzlegal.com, marczlegal.com, and 617-338-1300.
Great. Again, you can find Mark Z through me as well. Remind you, he'll be back every week on Radio Entrepreneurs.